Welcome back to lesson number 2, where we're going to talk about remarketing, which is Google AdWords' form of retargeting. Now, you might be aware that there are 2 kinds of remarketing campaigns that you can deploy. One is a site-wide retargeting campaign, and the other would be a dynamic retargeting campaign. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the site-wide retargeting that we can run with Google AdWords. What is retargeting? Short recap. A user comes to your website, leaves it, and within the advertising network, in our case, that would be Google AdSense and the content partners, you would be able to target these specific users who have visited your website and display them a relevant ad, which leads them back to your website. Now, in order for this to work, you need to set a cookie on the user's browser when he should be retargeted. In most cases, in the form of site-wide retargeting, you would do this on any page that he actually lands on your website. So we'll place the code on every site of our website. That will ensure that Google AdWords will be able to re-identify the user when he enters a partner website and display the ads to lead him back to your site. And we can deploy this cookie or this tracking technology via Google Tag Manager, and we'll deploy an AdWords remarketing tag with some configurations and use our built-in all pages trigger to deploy this site-wide remarketing. Now, we won't make use of any variables in this method of remarketing, but they will get important later. So let's take a look at a practical example. Here we are at our demo shop, and on every page of this website, we want to ensure that the user is added to our remarketing list. For that, we need to simply go over to AdWords, look under our shared library here, and then under Audience, we can build our new remarketing lists right here. Now, depending if you have already some remarketing lists set up or creating a new one, you will in the end get a remarketing tag that looks like this. And it has all the relevant information that we need to configure our tag. This is pretty easy actually. You go over to Google Tag Manager, we'll create a new tag, name this tag with our naming convention. Then we go to our tag configuration. There's a tag template available. I'm going to click on the AdWords remarketing here. And what we need is our conversion ID and conversion label. So first of all, now we take our conversion ID, which we can find in the code as well. Right here is the conversion ID. Let's copy that, input that here, and the conversion label. Now, the conversion label is actually a relic from an older version of the remarketing tag that you could install, and it's not relevant for the newer versions of the remarketing tag, so you can ignore that, but it might be important if you do any kind of migration from older installations into Google Tag Manager. So that's already it. We can now go ahead and choose our custom parameters, which we'll get to in the next lesson. We're going to talk about dynamic remarketing. This can stay at none, and choose our trigger, which is the all pages trigger. This will deploy our remarketing code on all the pages where Google Tag Manager is installed. So let's save this and do a little bit of a quality check. Go into the preview and debug mode. Go back to our page, reload our page. And here we can see our AdWords remarketing tag has fired correctly. Also, our tag assistant should show us the successful deployment of the remarketing tag with the right conversion ID. So now we can go ahead, since this is working correctly, and publish this as a version to all our users. Let's click on this publish button. Give our version a description. Click on continue, and we have now successfully deployed our remarketing tag on this website. Now, the ultimate test would be if the indicator here turns green, which means that people are currently being added to the list and the tag has been successfully installed. Now, what if you wanted to install this only for users who visited the cart page or any other given page? You could definitely configure that through Google Tag Manager as well. But AdWords actually has some very sophisticated configurations that you can make once you build a new remarketing list, where you can enter certain rules like the cart page, or include or exclude combinations of users who have been already added to other lists. So I wouldn't bother with trying to configure this through Google Tag Manager and rather make use of the inbuilt filter functionality of Google AdWords directly.